Hello, back again with some more Lindiwe Maw gameplay. Trying to get this Kraken deck to work. It's been a lot of fun, but I'm still not sure it's there yet. I have a couple more ideas to fine tune it, but for now, I'm just gonna see what I can do with this. So I probably don't want to keep the Kraken turn 1. Don't have a lot of options past that. Let's just go for the one of each. So, I've been playing this deck a lot, and the problem I keep having with it is just the mid-range part of it. One of your best options is Kuwat. The 5 mana, 4/4 isn't too bad. I've often considered the rare version of this. I don't actually have one somehow. What it is on the replay, you can play it for 3 mana as a 5/5/5. Maybe that covers that mid-range a little bit better, but I don't know, it doesn't feel like it's good enough. Outside of that, the thought that I've got at the moment, and it's probably the thing I'm going to try next if this doesn't work out too much, is just pivot into like hard control. Like, use a lot of that Ysmir tools, play a lot of that 3, 4, 5 mana control gameplay to bridge from your little 1/1s to like Kraken Sakura Rabbu. I'm not sure how well that'll go. I've tried it a little bit earlier playing. It's just split here. I've tried a similar strategy before playing Tissot, the base level after you one, and she's very fun. I love Ysmir. It's one of my favorite factions, and a big reason why is her ability to kind of slow down the game, control at her own pace. And we lose that playing Lindiwe Maw, and even when I do play Akisha, it doesn't quite feel good enough. The main reason being is you're kind of going 1-for-1, trying to tax their resources, their plays, and a lot of decks have a lot of great ways to generate resources. Fen and Crowbar being a great one, they get a free card every turn. And yeah, just a lot of the time you're paying more mana and more cards than they are, really. Let's play the Street Disciple. I'm kind of curious to see the Nancy. Honestly, I think it's one of the best cards in Fen and Crowbar, so seeing it being played out this early for kind of no value is shocking to me, but sometimes you just need to make inoptimal plays because it's the only thing you have access to. I'll shut down my Spittle Harvesters, but I'm not too fussed about it. Kinda got a bit lucky here. They don't care about grass, and especially in Lyra, it might be kind of likely that they draw a 0 grass character, and that works out for me here. Get a little bit worried when I start seeing a lot of my big things early, because I put this into mana as well, suddenly there's only one Kraken left for me in the deck. But I don't think I have any other options here. I need both of these to really get going. My hope here this turn is that they just play something big to the left. Wow. And I can just counter with Kuwat. Wow, this is not a card you see very often. I think this might mark the first time I've ever seen this card. I like the idea of it a lot, but honestly, I've managed to draw even 4 or 5 cards seems like a lot, especially since you're giving up the entire turn. Doubly so in Fen and Crowbar, you're already a deck that gets a lot of card advantage over your opponents. I don't know if you need to go even harder on that. So yeah, we got lucky. What happened? They ended up playing something here. I can just counter it with a massive Kuwat and get an advance for free. Yeah, we'll see if they play this or not, and maybe I can reevaluate. But I do feel like if they play it, I'll just better get a little bit of advantage here. Alright, got a couple different plays here. What do I want to get rid of? I think it's just going to be the Kuwat since I already have one, but I'm tempted to get rid of one of these two. The Moonlight Jellyfish because I do have Sacrifice Fodder already, and the Gift of Self just because it's not raw power. But I do think that Kuwat's fine to get rid of here. I play Jellyfish left, follow up with Kuwat, and play more to the right. Seems fine. Yeah. I might regret that, honestly. I think I value card draw in this deck a little bit higher than I should, basically because, I feel like I'm always scrambling for something in this deck, and card draw represents, oh, I'll just draw out of my situation, even though Realistically, there's not cards that can help me here. Alright, so playing the Moonlight. That was a mistake. I meant to play that to the left, but I just misclicked by accident. Playing the Moonlight Jellyfish here is kind of questionable. The reason why is I could play Lindiwe Maw, like use the ability to summon Maw, and then immediately play Kuwat. And the reason I'd want to do that is it completely discounts any ability for me to be sabotaged. Like I would play it turn 1. However, doing this way dodges Cloth Cocoon. Like if I play Kuwat, I can just get Cloth Cocooned. Now they have access to the cost reduction from Martingale. Just playing Martingale. I think there's a lot of ways that I just get countered here anyway. Like I think playing this just immediately gets it Cloth Cocooned. Let's do a Gift of Self. I need to activate this. That's unfortunate. Wouldn't have made a big difference here, I don't think. Okay, they have a lot of power in play this turn. Maybe it's best I took this kind of small side turn. This Juror card didn't really play much out. I'm going to play out the Student's Disciple. For no real reason, just to get it out of reserve. We'll pass here. Kind of upset. There's only 2 Earth here, so it's not too far away from me being able to play, like, take it off them with something a bit bigger, but happy enough with what happened there. They have a lot in reserve that they have to get rid of. I didn't get Cloth Cocoon, which they might get rid of this turn. Sakura Rabbu is a nice draw. Lets me get out of this a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of what I expected to see here. Ooh, I get my unique Sneezer Shroom. Honestly, I'm a little scared of them festivaling me here. Let's get rid of the Sneezer Shroom. The reason is I have Sacrifice combo here. The reason I'm keeping the Banishing Gateway is because it will allow me to deal with the possibility of getting Festival. Now, why I'm scared of the Festival here is because they have Aloe Vera and like 3 sources of Anchored, so I could definitely see them just getting Anchored, playing a cheap thing, and then slamming down the Festival this turn, next turn. Yeah, they don't anchor it because they have the Hatter, makes sense. What do I want to do here? I beat them with the Kuwat, but I also beat the right side as well. So let's play the Jellyfish. I'm playing this out a little bit just to kind of be coy, and perhaps I should have played it out to the left with that in mind. Because I was vaguely considering keeping the Banishing Gate and just Banishing Gating the Aloe Vera if they anchored it. But as it stands, I think I just want to do the obvious play here of just playing Kuwat. A little tempted to summon more just to get the boosts, but maybe I keep that 1 mana around just in case I get something with the Moonlight Jellyfish. My hope here is like a 1 mana anchor thing. Nah. I got that little hedgehog plant that I could have put it to the left and... Interesting. I'll pass. Not quite sure they played that. So, yep, we trade advances this turn, which is good for me because I kind of plan on just stonewalling them out with Sakura Rabbu from here on out, which is a bit gross, but I'm happy enough with it. Don't get both, which is expected here, but luckily they actually end up on a water here, which they have 0 water, so if I back them out with Sakura Rabbu, suddenly they are facing down 5 power that they can't really contest. In terms of what I want to put into mana, let's just put the Scholar. The Scholar? The Alchemist. Into mana. It's cost 3 mana, I don't think I can really afford to play it anytime soon. New unique. When I leave the expedition zone, sabotage. You may discard a card from your reserve. If you do, target character other than me gains fleeting, anchored, and asleep. That, to me, especially maybe with the Sandman and maybe with Capabella training, confirms that it's probably a festival deck. Now, they're definitely in position to festival this turn. They can very easily give themselves sleeping with... this is quite expensive. Maybe they're not in a position to festival this turn. Watch me eat my words. The reason was this, if they could festival this turn, I could probably consider just Moonlight Jellyfish selfing here. Alright, let's just slam down Sakura Rabbu and say, figure it out. It puts them back on the triple color here, so that they have better access to advancing, but I'm not too fast. It just basically gives them access to green as well as Earth. My hope here is that I can kind of just keep playing Sakura Rabbus until they like lose enough tempo that I can just slam down a Kraken. Even if they can get the double advance here, I'm not too worried by that. They'll spend a lot of resources to do it. Wouldn't shock me if they play Capabella training on Sakura Rabbu, but I'm not too fast. It just basically stops me from drawing a card. Although I probably would eventually, like maybe Sakura Rabbu next turn, and then the turn after that, replay both of them for 10 power, which would be kind of scary. Let's see what they do here. 2 cards in hand is not the scariest thing in the world, especially if they are trying to do the festival combo. Means they have a lot of like weirder jank rather than like hard control cards. Looking at what we've seen so far, the Aether Shard is interesting. Maybe this is them going very hard on the combo, trying to draw into the combo. Cloth Cocoon is just some nice control. I kind of see it, even though it's not directly feeding into the combo. Let's talk about this Aether Shard. So it completely loses them this turn, which is probably very bad for them considering they just got Sakura Rabbu. And all they gain out of it is a draw, like 2 draws. Essentially 1 draw since they play the card. Yeah, I don't love the position they're in. Although it doesn't mean I'm almost definitely getting, Capella. One problem next turn is that if I do want to Sakura Rabbu them, I need to put it on the left because you can't step back from the end. And then I'm trying to contest. Sorry, I thought that was anchored. I'm not sure why. I guess they had 2 hatters. But I guess they anchored that other thing. Alright, that puts me in a much better position. In terms of what I want to do here, let's just get rid of the Baba Yaga. Hopefully we draw into a Kraken and we can Stargaze a Kraken and just put 10 water into play everywhere. Alright. Tanuki from your hand has Sabotage. Does it have otherwise? It has control 3 or more base to 6-0. I have tough. That's probably fine. What did they put into their hand? I didn't quite catch that. They put their unique Tinkerbell. Let's just step back quickly. Step back a little bit further. Doesn't love doing this. So when it gets played, it oh yeah, that's right, it gives the anchored fleeting or sleep. And when it leaves play, it sabotages. Because I guess they would have just technically sabotaged. Anyway, hopefully it catches back up and I can keep playing here. Is there a way I can speed this up? No. Alright. I don't use that feature particularly often, but it is nice that it exists. Interesting. They played Aloe Vera on the right here, which is more than fine for me. Yep. Big thing. This must be so frustrating, just constantly getting your progress eroded and eroded and eroded. Okay. Not sure. I guess they just want the mana. Fair enough. They get a step. I get a step. It's all going according to plan. Very happy with the change to rare Sakura Rabbus here. Wouldn't have mattered in this specific case, but it just is 5 is such an important breakpoint, I find. You can even see it here. You can see how many 4 stats there are in play. Alright. Got access to Off You Go, which is just a nice bit of control. Got access to the Tooth Fairy, which you can get rid of. Probably don't care about getting rid of this. I suppose it's a 3 mana, 0/4/4. But there are more scary things. I like just Gift of Selfing to get some card draw, hopefully see that last Kraken. I could play Sakura Rabbu here again. So with 9 mana I would have access to 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get rid of the gate here. I'm not too concerned about the festival anymore. I might have overly leapt to that conclusion. And they're not in a great position to pull it off anyway. Okay, so now they have the Cloth Cocoon, which does counter me playing Sakura Rabbu. Could sabotage it with the Tooth Fairy, but I'm not. I think I'm concerned enough for that. No, you know what? I'm going to respect it. Let's play this here just to put a little bit of pressure on them and get rid of the Cloth Cocoon. Still want to try and Gift of Self the Jellyfish. I might just Gift of Self the Tooth Fairy. It's not a big deal either way. Okay, so yep, discard a card from reserve, give something anchored. Yeah, fair enough. One of the few things I do really like about this deck is that you can just play a lot of very small things out very slowly. It's always one of my favorite things to do in Altered, because your opponent has to basically show you their entire place for the turn while you're kind of dawdling around. We'll play this here. Would have been funny if that was the rare version, so it gave me a draw, but no such luck. Yeah, summon more before we sacrifice, because somehow I always forget that. It keeps showing me this top bar. Gift of Self on the Jellyfish to get some card draw. Alas, still no Kraken. I said we get to play out small things slowly, but somehow we've spent more mana than they have. If they spend enough mana, I would love to Off You Go and then Tooth Fairy the Aloe Vera, and that is enough mana. Yeah, I can't contest the left-hand side, even with Sakura Rabbu. So let's do that play. It's honestly kind of gross. And Tinkerbell will sabotage. We'll probably hit the suck. Maybe they'll hit Off You Go again. Okay, let's draw first, because I don't want them to hit that for free with a sabotage. Okay, nothing interesting. So let's get rid of this, get rid of the anchored. See what they do. And then on more than likely just hit them with the Tooth Fairy on the Aloe Vera. Oh, they can play it out again. Right, with Twinkle Twinkle. Of course. That's my bad. What does that allow me here? I think I just have to eat the double, them advancing here. They have a free sabotage. I don't really... The world where I try and get this thing into reserve just for the support effect. Accepting they'll probably sabotage Off You Go. I wish I was on anything but water here. And I don't really care about sabotaging a Capella training. You know what, let's go ahead and get the Student's Disciple into play. No reason not to, outside of just keeping it for a second play, but it's better in my reserve. Alright, so we're now back on parity, which is not fantastic. And stopping to review a little bit here, The Aether Shard definitely, I think, is keeping them in this game a little bit. It allows them to just kind of spam out cards, not be too concerned about their reserves. So they get to be a bit more efficient, but still not sold on it. Very possible that they could be in a better position if they didn't play the Aether Shard. Probably on game point rather than one behind. Alright, interesting to see what they sabotage here. Definitely feels like it should be off you go, but I could see them just getting scared of the Student's Disciple's ability to make things cost cheaper. I wouldn't have guessed that one, ever. And we see the Kraken. Okay. How bold are we feeling? Get rid of the Skull. So, it's on our turn, so we don't get a free more. So 7 mana, and then 8 mana, 9 mana, 10 mana for the Student's Disciple. It's kind of a shame here that they got rid of the Off You Go, if that they didn't get rid of Off You Go, because then I would have been able to play Tooth Fairy and Student's Disciple and made more here. But it seems like I'm just able to play something and more and Kraken. So we'll start slowly. Start with just the Stargazer. Could have played the Tooth Fairy, but I don't think there's anything massive worth sabotaging this turn. Martingale, fair enough. I guess we just pull the trigger and hope they don't have control in hand. No. Aether Shard does represent a higher ability to draw a control spell. We have to be open to that fact. Let's think about it a little bit. They have 5 cards left in deck, so they've seen most of their deck. There is a Cloth Cocoon 1 and 2 here. It looks like they don't play Paint Prison. So the real question is, do I think they drew their last Cloth Cocoon, assuming they're playing 3? With 5 cards left in the deck, probably they drew it. I'm honestly willing to take that bet. Not for any real logical reason, but I just want to see a big Kraken in play. Let's do that. Big Kraken, please. Bing bong. What am I saying? Cloth Cocoon can't even hit the Kraken at the moment. That's why it's a very strong control spell. I think it's one of my favorite. But yeah, Kraken is not any of those conditions. And if they don't play Paint Prison, which I think we would have seen one by now, assuredly. Yeah, probably just win off that. Oh no. Okay. Let's see. Anansi plays out for 4. And then they can play out the Tinkerbell as well, so unfortunately it ends up with me being 1 and them being 1. Hopefully. No, because when this leaves play, it sabotages. Oh. Oh yeah. You know, I've said this before, but I think the hardest thing about versing uniques is just not yeah, is not reading them. Yeah, it feels a little bad to get gotten there at the end, you know. I wasn't thinking about what their unique's effect was in that weird case. It feels a bit unfortunate just because you got to kind of keep in mind a lot of different things in this game, and one of them being, 3 of them being effects that you kind of can't memorize is rough, but I think it's just a gameplay concern, something to get better at for sure, and I don't think it like meaningfully takes away from the game. Outside of that, I was quite happy with how the deck performed. It still suffers from that problem with the mid game. Luckily, the cool art stuck around and I had a lot of luck with it. But again, I'm thinking about pivoting it to just very hard control, just controlling through the mid game until I can get the Krakens out. Not sure if that would be even any more likely to succeed. I don't think we have the best control spells at the moment, and I think that's kind of holding Yuzme back a little bit, but I'd like to give it a try. very likely this is just a set 2 deck, set 3 deck, and we'll see some more support for it in the next set, no doubt. And I'd love to see where the deck ends up after that. Other than that, tinker around with the deck a little bit more. I'll probably keep going in the future, and hopefully we end up with something that I can play and get a few more wins with, because I played this deck probably the most out of every deck, and I think I have a very negative win rate with it. But I'm going to keep working with it. Alright, hope you had a nice day, and I hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.